Are you over 60? Do you get up from your chair and feel weak in your knees? Are you afraid of falling, and yet you take your supplements? Maybe you spend money on vitamins, calcium, or even expensive protein powders your doctor recommended, but nothing changes. Let me ask you something. Why are pharmacies and conventional medicine so focused on selling products after the problem appears, instead of teaching you the secret to preventing it from starting? The answer is simple. Your weakness is profitable, but your strength doesn't have to cost anything. Today, I'm going to reveal what pharmacies don't tell you, how to reactivate your muscles literally seconds after waking up. What I'm about to show you isn't a product, it's a signal. A biological signal that changes everything. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to stop losing muscle and start rebuilding it before you even have your coffee. When my patients, men and women over 60 and 70, come to my office, they bring with them a sense of betrayal. Their bodies, once strong, now seem fragile. They receive a diagnosis, sarcopenia, and then they hear the phrase I hate most. It's just part of aging. This is, at best, a half-truth, and at worst, a convenient lie. Accepting this is like accepting your house falling apart without asking why the foundations are cracking. Age isn't the aggressor. It's merely the setting in which the crime takes place. The real culprit, the hidden enemy that attacks your muscles every morning, is a hormone we all produce. Its name is cortisol. Many know it as the stress hormone, but its primary and oldest function is different. Cortisol is your wake-up hormone. It's what turns off sleep and turns on your consciousness in the morning. It's a brilliant survival mechanism, essential for life. But herein lies the dangerous paradox for those over 60. Think about what happens exactly when you wake up. You've been fasting for, say, 8, maybe 9 hours. Your body is biologically in a state of starvation. Your stores of easy energy, glycogen, are at their lowest level of the day. Yet cortisol spikes abruptly, like a factory manager yelling, "Start the machines. We need energy now to start the day." The body panics. It needs fuel, and it needs it now. And where does it get this fuel? It doesn't wait for you to go downstairs and make your oatmeal or eggs. It seeks the quickest and most accessible source. Unfortunately, for your strength and stability, that source is your own muscle tissue. Cortisol, in this specific morning fasting state, initiates a process called gluconeogenesis. It's a complex term for a brutally simple process. It breaks down the precious proteins in your muscles, your arms, your legs, the muscles in your back that keep you upright, and converts them into glucose, blood sugar, for energy. Let me put it bluntly, your body cannibalizes itself. Every morning, without fail, while you're in the bathroom brushing your teeth or in the kitchen waiting for the water to boil for tea or coffee, you're in a catabolic state. You're literally undoing the hard work your muscles have done to maintain themselves. You're sacrificing your long-term strength for the short-term energy of the next 30 minutes. It's a terrifying biological interest rate, and this is the secret the health industry rarely discusses. Why? Because it's much easier and infinitely more profitable to sell you a protein powder supplement to help build muscle, or a medication for joint pain caused by muscle instability. They're selling solutions to the symptoms of weakness while completely ignoring the root cause, which happens every morning, for free, in your own home. That weakness you feel when trying to get up from your chair? It's the cumulative result of 1,000 mornings of losing this battle. That fear of tripping on the carpet? It's your body telling you that the muscle fibers that should stabilize you have been slowly stolen, one by one, to pay for your morning energy. You're not simply aging. You're being systematically weakened by a biological process no one has taught you to control. You're losing the war for your independence before the day even begins. Let me tell you about a patient of mine, James. He walked into my office not long ago at the age of 67, though he looked 80. James was a proud man. He'd been a security guard all his life, working night shifts for decades to support his family. But the man in front of me was crumbling. His shoulders were hunched, his hands were shaking slightly, and he told me his biggest fear was not being able to lift the warehouse's security gate anymore. He was weak, and it was killing him inside. Naturally, we reviewed his routine. James was perpetually exhausted. To combat the fatigue of a lifetime of poor schedules, he relied on his only reliable ally, coffee. He told me he drank 6 to 8 cups a day, but the crucial detail was the first cup. James would wake up at 5 in the morning feeling groggy and achy. Before even using the bathroom, he'd stagger to the kitchen and turn on the coffee maker. That first sip of hot black coffee, on a completely empty stomach was, he said, the only thing that made him feel human. He had no idea that this daily ritual, this small act of comfort, was his greatest act of self-sabotage. Here's what was happening to James, and what might be happening to you. Remember cortisol, the wake-up hormone flooding your system, hungry for energy and ready to break down your muscles? Well, caffeine is a powerful stimulant. When it hits your system on an empty stomach, it doesn't calm cortisol. It slams on the gas. Coffee, at this particular moment, massively amplifies the cortisol response. It screams to James's body, "Emergency! We need even more energy, faster." So that catabolic process, that breakdown of muscle for energy, wasn't just happening. It was being turbocharged. That sip of coffee was, figuratively, pouring gasoline on the fire that was already consuming his muscle mass. He was accelerating the very destruction he so feared. The tragic irony is that James drank coffee to give him energy so he could do his physical work. But by doing so, he was destroying the very source of his physical strength. He was trapped in a vicious cycle. He woke up weak from muscle breakdown, drank coffee to combat the weakness, and the coffee accelerated muscle breakdown, making him wake up even weaker the next day. This is what I mean when I talk about the 99% error. It's not about being lazy. James was anything but lazy. It's not about a lack of discipline. It's about a catastrophic failure of information. James's problem wasn't the coffee itself, or even the quantity. It was the order of events. It was the timing. He was, with the best of intentions, feeding the enemy before feeding himself. His weakness wasn't a sentence. It was the result of a terribly misunderstood morning habit, a habit no one ever told him was wrong. Okay, now I want you to pay close attention. What I'm going to describe to you is what you'll do tomorrow morning. This isn't a vague suggestion. It's a protocol. It should be done the second your feet hit the floor, before coffee, before any food, before you give cortisol a chance to win. This all takes less than 30 seconds. I call it the muscle activation cocktail, and it's the most powerful tool I teach my patients to stop their morning muscle thrashing. The protocol consists of 3 simple parts. The first is the foundation of everything, a large glass of water. We're talking at least 300 milliliters. Why? Because after 8 hours of sleep, you're profoundly dehydrated, and your muscles are composed of about 75% water. A dehydrated muscle is a weak muscle, incapable of defending itself. It's like trying to start an engine without oil. Providing this water is the first non-negotiable step in preparing the muscular environment for the day. Now, the second part. This is the game changer. Along with this water, you'll add a small pinch of salt. And here, quality is key. I'm not talking about white, refined, iodized table salt, which is just pure sodium chloride stripped of its minerals. I'm talking about whole sea salt, Celtic salt, or Himalayan pink salt. The difference is profound. These whole salts contain dozens of essential minerals and electrolytes: magnesium, potassium, calcium, and sodium. Think of it this way. Your muscles are electrical. Every contraction, every movement, every signal from your brain to your biceps is an electrical charge. Electrolytes are literally the spark plugs that conduct this electricity. When you wake up, you're depleted of these minerals. By drinking water with this pinch of whole salt, you're not just hydrating, you're electrifying your system. You're providing the exact raw material for your muscles to fire properly. You're replenishing the battery. The third part is optional, but I highly recommend it. Squeeze the juice of half a lemon into this mixture. Lemon, although acidic to the taste, has an alkalizing effect on the body once metabolized. More importantly, it supports the liver, which has been working all night processing toxins, and helps stabilize blood sugar. It's an added boost of cleansing and balance. So you drink this mixture immediately. The feeling is cleansing and energizing, but what's happening inside is much deeper. Let's understand what you just did in those 30 seconds. You didn't just drink a glass of water. You executed a strategic biological maneuver. You sent a clear and unambiguous signal to your body, specifically to your adrenal glands, which are pumping out that cortisol. The immediate influx of water and crucially minerals, acts as a handbrake on the cortisol spike. The body registers the presence of sodium and minerals and thinks, the supplies have arrived. We're not in emergency mode. We don't need to panic and burn muscle for energy. You interrupt the catabolic order. You essentially tell your body, calm down. The real fuel, your breakfast, is on the way. Don't touch your protein stores. You defuse the ticking time bomb. With this simple act, you fundamentally change your morning metabolic state. You shift from a catabolic state, where your body is eating itself alive, to an anabolic or at least neutral state, where your muscles are protected, hydrated, electrified, and ready to receive the nutrients from your breakfast. This is reactivating your muscles. It's not with exercise, it's not with a pill, it's with a signal. You're taking control of your internal chemistry before it takes control of you, and you did it before you even thought about coffee. This is the solution. Simple, cheap, and profoundly effective. It's what pharmacies can't put in a bottle and sell you. I know what you're thinking. That's it? Water and salt? Sometimes the most profound solutions are the simplest. Pharmacies can't patent salt water. That's why they don't tell you. Change doesn't come from a magic pill. It comes from a decision. You have two choices tomorrow. Wake up and let cortisol eat away at your muscles while you wait for coffee. Or take 30 seconds to take control and give your muscles the ignition they need. If you're ready to stop being a victim of your morning biology and start fighting back, click the sign up button now. Because in my next video, I'll show you the 5 foods you should eat after this cocktail to turn your breakfast into a real muscle-building machine. Thanks for watching.